Hello everyone, I think we should be live now on Facebook. If we are, please do give me a like on the screen. Let me know whether you are watching. That would be amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who's joining me. I've got the live stream up on my laptop so I can read the comments as you go for today's stamp along. So how is everyone doing? How is everyone today? Let me know in the comments. I've just been to get a cup of tea, so I'm a little bit late today, and to be honest with you, it's the most pathetic looking cup of tea I think I've ever made because it's very weak, but never mind. Okay, so hopefully everyone's found us and is joining us now. Don't worry, when we start the lives now and we have all these fancy graphics that are showing you exactly what we're going to be making, this is a whole new thing that we've discovered that we can do. So basically we can pop graphics in on the screen to let you know what's coming up. So when I'm talking about any materials you might need, we're going to be able to pop that in on the screen. So hopefully that should make everything a little bit easier for everyone. But please do let me know if you're joining me in the comments. Let me know if you're watching live, if you're going to be crafting along as well, or maybe you're going to be crafting along a little bit later today. It is a beautiful day here in the northeast of England. I'm sure you can see behind me the sun is shining and it is a beautiful day outside, and it's lovely and warm as well. So hopefully we are all good now. I'm just gonna have a little check through on the comments on the page. So if you are watching on the page, please do leave me your comments. Let me know if you're watching, let me know if you're joining in. That would be incredible. Let me just get the live feed up. So it was up and my laptop then froze. So hopefully it should be working, fingers crossed. Okay, please do let me know if you are live and if you are watching. That would be incredible. Just give that a minute to load. Technology's not liking me today, I feel. So if you haven't been following us on the blog and on Facebook, and maybe you've just stumbled across the page for the first time, basically every Wednesday we've been doing a stamp along live. So on the Friday, the week before, I put a list of ingredients up on the blog, and if you hop over to our website, which is chloescreativecards.co.uk, you can sign up to our newsletter. And what that then means is we'll then send you an email with the instructions and the materials you're going to need for the next stamp along, and then you get to learn how to make a project with me. So it is literally like a one-to-one class with me, but in the comfort of your own craft room, which is incredible. So this is the project. You know what, I'm going to put it on the other camera because I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better. This is the project that we are going to be making today. So we're going to be using that fabulous large sunflower stamp, which is a beautiful, and we're going to be using loads of sparklicious glitter. We're going to be stamping and embossing onto heat resistant acetate as well, and we are going to be using the foliage stamps. It's just going to be a fabulous project. We're going to be stenciling a background as well, which is incredible too. So we're going to be doing lots and lots of different techniques on this project. Okay then, so I can see we've got the live stream up. I can see everyone who's joining me, so thank you so much for all of your comments. Hello Melanie, hello to Sue, hello Audrey. Oh, I can see Barbara's joining us as well. That's Barbara who does lots of the card samples. Oh, Sheil is still prepping, but she hopes to finish a card today. Oh, I'm sure you will. And if you can't craft along live, or maybe you want to do this in your own time and join me a little bit later, what you can do is I'll pop this video onto the page when we're finished, and I will also pop it onto our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so we'll get started, and these are the materials that you are going to need for today. So we're going to be using the Stamps by Chloe Large Sunflower stamp set, and we're also going to be using the Stamps by Chloe Fabulous Foliage stamp set, which I know right at this moment in time it is a little bit out of stock on the website, but we will be getting that back into stock very soon. And then we've got the Celebrate Sentiments as well that we're going to be using for the sentiment stamps and dies, and we've got the Unicorn Sparkle glitter as well, and the Strawberry Sorbet. I'm just going to leave those up for a moment because someone's literally just knocked at the door, so I'm guessing we've got a delivery. So I'll leave the materials up there for a minute and I'll be back. Sorry about that everyone, I am back. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using today, so hopefully you will be able to craft along with me live. Okay then, so we will get started. This is the fabulous project that we are going to be making. If you missed the start of the video, because I can see that lots of you have just joined me. I've literally just ran up the stairs and I'm out of breath now. But you can see how fabulous this is going to look. So we're going to start off with the beautiful background. So we're going to be using some texture paste, and we're also going to be using a stencil as well to create this beautiful background. So the stencil that we're going to use is this one, okay, which has been so popular on the website, and it is a beautiful stencil. So this is the flower burst background, okay, and we're going to be stenciling this onto our rose quartz pearl card. So we're going to place our stencil down into place like so, okay, and then we're going to use our removable tape to tape this one down. I'm just going to cut 4 lengths of this, just slightly longer than the stencil. So we're going to tape one at the top, so it's going to be like a hinge. So that's going to go into place here. Okay. And then we're going to tape one across the bottom here too. So that's going to hold this piece into place there. Actually, what I tend to do with my stencils is, I'm going to give you a little tip here. So I tend to place that tape down and then pop that into place like so, and then pull them nice and tight, so then you can see how that then keeps your stencil nice and flat. So we're going to be using the Frosty Sparkle texture paste. I can see there's just a comment that's just come up on the live feed there about when that'll be back in stock. We've actually got the Frosty Sparkle in stock today. Okay, Pam is asking, can you use stick and spray? You can, but if I'm being honest, I like to tape around the edges as well, because then you don't get as much stencil paste around the waist of your card. Okay, and Joanna's asking what make is your removable tape. So this is the Scotch removable tape that I use. We used to sell it on little rolls, but someone actually gave me about 5 big rolls like this, so I've just been using this. But you could be using any low tack tape at all, so like any masking tape. If you find that when you stick it on your card, it's like lifting and taking the top off your card, what I would do is just de-tack it on your clothes. So kind of just tear a bit off and pop it on your clothes and then peel it off again, and then that'll just take some of the stickiness away. Okay then, so we're going to be using the Cosmic Shimmer Ultra Sparkle texture paste, and this one is Frosty Sparkle. And see, Trisha's asking, are you in England or America? I am in England. I'm in Durham, up in the northeast of England at the moment. Okay, so we're going to take the lid off here. You can see how gorgeous this texture paste is. Okay, so the texture paste that we're using today has already got glitter in it. So basically we're going to paste that through the stencil. It's going to dry clear and you're going to get all of the sparkle on there. So we're going to use a palette knife to do this. And you literally are just going to paste through the stencil like so. I love the noise it makes as well with the glitter paste against the stencil. Okay, so we're going to pop that through there. So all I'm doing is popping the paste on, then scraping off any excess. So we're going to just keep pasting this through. Thank you so much for your comments as well. I'm doing my best to keep glancing up to have a look at them as I'm demonstrating and as I'm going here. Okay, so you can see how we've got the texture paste all on here. Nina's saying she doesn't have this one, so she's just used white texture paste and put glitter on the top. Yes, you can absolutely do that. I can see Monica's doing the same with the clear texture paste. So you can just put some crystalline glitter, or you can put any glitter over the top. I tell you what would look lovely, if you use the clear texture paste and you put Razzle Dazzle over the top. That would look really, really nice. Okay, so when we lift this off, we're going to have the lovely stenciled background. So I'm going to just take these away, like so, and I'm going to pop this on my windowsill, and hopefully it'll be dry by the end of the stamp along for when we come to assemble our cards. So take those away. If you're not quite as confident as I am at stenciling, if you want to leave that top piece in place and use it like a hinge, then you can always pop your stencil back down if you need to. Okay, so we're going to lift this away, and then you can see the beautiful background that we've got there. So what you need to do is you need to drop your stencil in some water as well, just to get that texture paste off. But you can see the effect that that then gives on the background. So this one is the Flower Burst stencil that we're using, which is gorgeous. And when this dries, see how the paste looks a little bit white at the moment? That's going to dry clear, and your glitter is really going to shine through. Okay, so you can see how beautiful that then is. So we'll pop that over to one side, okay, and we're going to continue on. Now I'm going to leave that for a moment, and I'm going to go on to stamping the flowers. So we're going to be using our beautiful large sunflower stamp, and this one was released back in March, I believe it was. And we're going to be stamping and embossing onto some rose quartz pearl paper. Okay, so we're going to pop this down, and we're going to take an anti-static bag to start with. We're going to give our paper a really good dust over, okay, and that's going to get rid of any fingerprints that you might have on your paper, or any excess oils and any static that may be on your paper. Okay, so giving that a good rub over, I'm going to pop that to one side. I'm going to bring in my stamp, and I'm going to use my Wow clear embossing ink pad, and we're going to stamp and emboss the flower onto here. And we're going to do that, we're doing 3 flowers, so we're going to do that 9 times. Okay, so we're going to take our ink pad, we're going to ink up our stamp, and then we're going to place that down and press. So you want firm, even pressure all over the stamp. Then we're going to lift that off, and we are going to use the opaque bright white superfine embossing powder. So we've been using this a lot in the stamp alongs. I've noticed a bit of a theme developing that I do love a little bit of white embossing powder, but I just think it looks so nice, especially at the moment with it being spring and using like the nice pastely spring colours. So we're going to sprinkle that over and tap off the excess. That's our first one done. If you're not quite as confident as I am at stamping, if you want to stamp one, heat it, stamp one, heat it, of course you can do. I'm going to keep inking up and keep stamping. So I'll probably stamp 3 and then heat those up. So this is my next one. I'm stamping this one here. I'm going to lift the lid off. I'm going to do this one again. Inking that one up, and then we're going to place this one down and press. And then we're going to sprinkle this with our opaque bright white embossing powder again. Tap off the excess. My opaque bright white is seeming to be gathering little bits of colour every week as well from the glitters. So maybe use a different piece of scrap paper when you're glittering and things. Okay, so I'm going to take my heat gun now, and I'm going to pop it on. I've got this, I've actually changed my heat gun, actually brought the other day, it cut out on me. So I've got one of the new Wow ones, and this has got 2 speeds. So when I have a 2-speed heat gun, I personally tend to go for the higher speed. Just find it heats your embossing powder a little bit quicker. So we're going to hold our heat gun still. And then as soon as we see that powder start to melt and change, we're going to move the heat gun over the image. Like so. see how that heats up all nicely there. And just see there's a couple of questions coming in. So, and see there's a question about re-inking the Wow ink pad. I don't think I've got my re-inker here at the moment. I've tidied my craft room, and do you know when, oh no I have. Do you know when you tidy your craft room and put things away? So this is the little re-inker for your ink pad. And literally, the Wow one's really cool because it's got like a little roller ball. So literally, all you do is you take your ink pad, you take the little roller ball, you can see my ink's gone to the bottom, so just let that come down. Then you literally just roll it over your ink pad. Like so, and you can put as much or as little on as you want. You can just put a small amount on, give it a little roll over with the roller ball, and that's it, re-inked. Dead easy to do. It is brilliant. Okay then. So with the Wow one, you don't need to worry about drops or anything like that. Just roll over it. If your ink pad still feels dry, of course you can go in and pop a little bit more on if you want to. I'm sure I saw another question come in here as well. Is it essential to clean the stamps after using your sticky ink? So what I tend to do is I tend to have like a full day stamping, and to be honest with you, most of my projects are embossed, so I tend to just keep using my stamps, keep using them, and then when it gets to the end of the day, I literally throw them all in the sink with some warm soapy water, a little bit of washing up liquid in there, give them a good wash. If you want to give them a little scrub, you can use like an old toothbrush, like a soft toothbrush, and then I just leave them to air dry naturally, and that's how I clean my stamps. And that's literally all I do. So I don't tend to clean them every single time after stamping. I just tend to clean them at the end of the day. Okay, so we are of course stamping onto the rose quartz pearl paper, so I'm going to keep going. I'm getting distracted by the comments today, aren't I? Okay, so we're going to ink that up. Now, because I've been handling the paper, I'm going to give it another little rub with the anti-static bag, and we're going to continue stamping these. So remember, we need 9 sunflowers. That's the first one. Re-ink your stamp. Stamp your next one. Re-ink your stamp. And then stamp your next one. Okay. I'm going to lift that off. I'm going to grab in our embossing powder. Again, I don't always put my embossing powder back in the jar either. I'm terrible. I tend to just leave it on the paper and then shimmy it over like this. Okay. So we're just going to sprinkle that over, and then we'll pop that to one side. And then we're going to heat these ones up. So again, I'm going in with the second speed on my heat gun. Okay, so you can see how that has all nicely heated up there. Okay, so we've got those lovely flowers. And again, where I've got little fingerprints around the edges, I'm not bothered about that because we're going to cut them out anyway. Okay, so we'll pop that to one side. I'm going to grab in another piece of my pink paper, which I'm beginning to wonder where I've put. I definitely got a second sheet out. Let me just grab one from behind me from my shelves. Let me have a little look. Definitely grab a second sheet. I'll probably find it at the end after this video, I bet. Okay, let me grab one. Right, so we're going to stamp another 3 sunflowers. So again, onto this rose quartz pearl paper. Good dust with my anti-static bag. Okay, and then we're going to take our flower stamp. I'm going to ink up our stamp again. And then we're going to place this down and press. So you want firm, even pressure all over the stamp. Okay. And then we're going to ink up our stamp again. I can see Susan's asking, how do you watch it on TV? I have no idea, Susan. I've got no idea. I know how to pop it on my iPad or onto my laptop, but I'm not sure about the TV. Okay, so we're going to pop this one down into the corner here. Okay, and then we're going to lift that off, and then we'll do one more. Okay, so again, re-inking your stamp, so lots of tapping all over the image. And then we're going to pop this one on here. I can see there's a few questions coming in asking what paper I tend to stamp my flowers onto. So I did obviously be using the luxury pearl paper off the website. So this is the rose quartz, the pale pink. So that's about a 120 GSM. But to be honest with you, I use patterned papers. I use anything that I quite like the colour of. I'll kind of use to do me for stamping my flowers on, and it just works so well. And I think by experimenting, you always get a different look that way, don't you? So we're going to cover this with our embossing powder, like so. Okay, and then we're going to heat up these flowers. Just going to go back into the jar there. Okay, and we'll heat these up, and then we're going to do a little bit of cutting out after this, I think. So, again with your embossing, you don't want to overheat it. So literally, just hold your heat gun still. And then as soon as you see that powder start to melt and change, you're just going to move it over the image. Okay. I always think white's a nice colour if you're just starting out as well, because it's really easy to kind of see that powder change with the white. So we've got our 9 sunflowers here, so we're going to just quickly start and cut these out. Now I am quite a speedy cutter, but if you're cutting out at home and you can't keep up with me or whatever, please do not panic and please don't rush. The video will be on the page once we're finished live today, and I'll also make sure it goes onto YouTube afterwards too. Okay. Keep that little bit of paper there because I'm sure I can get a die cut or something out of there. Okay then, so we're going to start and cut these out. So it's a nice easy shape to cut round the large sunflower. So I'm going to cut 3 out, and I'm going to cut these ones out whole. So what you're going to do is hold your scissors still, and then you're going to just twist the paper in towards the shape of the flower. Okay, so that's going to be your first layer there. Okay, so we're going to keep cutting these out, so we're going to do 3 of those. I can see Sue's asking, do we sell the heat gun on the website? Yes we do, but I believe that they are out of stock at the moment. I do have them on order, so they will be back on the website very soon. Okay, so we're just cutting these flowers out. I personally find cutting out really relaxing. I love it. So we're going to trim around here. Like so. That's that one done, and then we're going to do the next one as well. And I think when you're embossing, when you're cutting out as well, it actually helps you when you're cutting out, because you've kind of then got a little ridge that you can just work up to. Literally just trimming these round, and this is such a nice stamp as well because it's a nice large image, so I'm thinking coloured in this would look incredible just with your pens or your pencils. It would be lovely. So just work around trimming this one out. Okay, I always wonder on these stamp alongs, should I do the cutting out first or should I just keep cutting them out for you? I know it gets a little bit repetitive, but we kind of started with the idea of these stamp alongs being that it was like you see a card from start to finish, and if you would like to kind of stamp along with me to create the project, of course you can do as well. Okay, so we're going to just work round, trimming these out like so. So on the next layer, so I've cut 3 out whole. Yeah, I'm not even telling you what I'm doing now. I've cut 3 out whole, and then on the next 6, I'm going to cut just the top petals away. So can you see how I'm taking the back petals out when I'm trimming round? Like so. But actually, do you know what? I think this kind of means that you end up with a different shape of flower as well. So you could probably use this in a different way as well. So then you end up with just the top layers, like so. Okay, really, really easy to do. So we'll continue going, just trimming these round. I always go really quiet when I'm cutting out as well, because I always kind of concentrate. I need to remember to talk. So just work round, trimming these out like so. But you can see how these are such a nice, like, easy shape to cut out. You can see that one there. Okay, so we can just keep going. Okay, so we can just work our way around like so. And just add it in. You can see how just by trimming these out we're going to be able to shape these flowers really nicely, because we've got that space on the petals to be able to do it. And when we start to pop the glitter on, you'll see how these just pop. They're going to sparkle so much. Okay, so how many have got to go? 3 more to go. Okay, so we're going to just keep trimming these round. Sorry, I feel like this is really boring for everyone at home sitting watching me cut out, but hopefully you're all kind of cutting out with me, so it's alright then, isn't it? Okay, so just trim around here, like so. Get rid of that bit of paper because it's annoying me. If you're struggling with your cutting out as well, I honestly can't recommend enough keeping your scissors still and turning the paper. It takes a little bit of getting used to it first, but honestly, once you kind of get used to it and you use the length of the blade of your scissors rather than doing lots of little cuts, you will find it a lot easier. And I tend to find it gives you a little bit of a smoother cut as well, to be honest. That's that one done. Okay, another 2. Okay, and see, Laura Jane's just said my stenciling went wrong. I think I used thin cardstock. What went wrong, Laura Jane? Was it, did it bend, or because it can be to do with your cardstock, but actually when your stencil dries, when the paste dries, you might find it's all right. Okay, so we're going to just trim around here again. I'm literally just working around using my scissors to cut these out, and it is so easy to do as well. I do like to give us a challenge though, don't I? Like, I can't just put one flower on a card. We have to have a little collection, don't we? Right, okay, that's that one there. And then we are going to do this one. Okay, we're just going to work our way around like so. So trimming this one out too. As well, while everyone's kind of watching on the live, if you haven't done so already, hop over after the live to our YouTube channel. So if you just type into YouTube, Chloe's Creative Cards, then our channel will come up, and I've put loads of videos on there recently using all of the newest the new release products. So there's lots and lots of card demos on there. There's some techniques. I've got some more techniques to film that I'm hopefully going to try and get at least filmed tomorrow. I'll try and get them edited maybe over the weekend. But yeah, keep a check on there because we're putting new videos on there all the time now. Now we've got a little system as to how I can film them with my camera and my phone myself. It's making it a little bit easier for us. Okay, so you can see now how I've got all of these lovely flowers cut out. So basically I've got 3 whole ones that we've got there, and then we've got the 6 that are literally just those top petals. Okay, so you can see how lovely they then are. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in some glue, and we're going to bring in our glitter. So the glitter we're using, I'm like obsessed with this glitter. I just want to put it on everything. I'm going to do my nails tonight as well, and I'm tempted to have glittery nails. I'm getting a bit bored of the plain pink. So this is our unicorn sparkle glitter, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Can you see? It's got like flakes of all different glitters in there. So you've got lots and lots of different colours. You've got the pinks in there. You've got more golden colours in there. It is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so you can just see how fabulous that then is. So we're going to start and pop this onto here. Okay, I can see Lynn's just asked, can you let us know before Friday what the next stamp along is? Ordinarily I'd say yes, but I haven't actually finished writing the project up yet because we are really busy at work. So I'm fitting it in as and when I can. So I'm hoping to get the project written up later today, then we'll get the PDF and everything done tomorrow, so it will be a Friday when it goes up, I'm afraid. We are honestly working as hard as we can and as quick as we can to get the orders out to you as quickly as possible. But obviously with the kind of COVID-19 situation and everything at the moment, there are delays with the postal system, so please do just bear with us. But don't worry, because I will always put the videos on YouTube afterwards, and obviously you can always watch on Facebook too. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Dries Clear PVA glue. So this is the glue that I use. This is the Art Glitter Dries Clear PVA. We do sell this on the website, and then it comes with the metal tip as well. You buy the metal tip separate. So basically you pop that little metal tip on the top, and then it makes it into like a precision glue. Okay, so we're going to take the pin out of the top. I think I've got my pin a little bit stuck here. Let's just have a look. I think my glue's a little bit blocked. Okay, let me just test that one's not working. I've got another one here. Let's try this one. Do you know what? I've been testing new things this morning, and I've had the glue out, and I think I've left the pins off the top. There we go. That one's all right. Okay, we've got a working glue. That is all good. If you do find that does happen with your glue at home, take the little metal tip off the end, put it in a little pot or a cup, and just literally boil the kettle and cover it with boiling water, and then leave it till the water cools down to soak, and that'll then just melt the glue, and you'll just be able to peel it off from your tip. And if you then just poke any excess glue out with the pin, you will tend to find that that'll just bring your glue back to life. Okay, and just see Jones asked, does it come with the pin? Yes, when you buy the metal tip you get a stainless steel pin with it, so the stainless steel pin's not going to rust. But if you want more pins, we do sell them separately on the website. I think you get like a pack of 6 of the stainless steel pins. I can't remember off the top of my head how much they are, but they're not very expensive. Okay then, so we're going to start and glitter these flowers now. So this is quite a little technique that I've kind of come up with for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our 3 base layers. So on these ones, all I'm going to glitter are these petals at the back. So basically the petals that haven't got the lines embossed down the middle. Okay, so we're going to take our glue and we're going to go in, and this is where this little metal tip comes into its own. We are just going to put little dots of PVA glue all over here, like so. So you can just wear it around, adding your little dots of glue in. And you can kind of go as high up the petal as you want to, or you can keep it quite towards the centre. I'll bring this up to the camera in a second to show you. Hopefully my glue won't dry then by the time I come to put my glitter on. It's the only thing when I talk and craft, sometimes the glue dries, but I'll just hold that up to show you. So you can see that there, how we've got the glue on the background of the petals there. Then we're going to bring in our our scrap card. I'm going to sprinkle over our glitter and tap off the excess. So that's the unicorn sparkle. So then you can see the difference that then makes. Okay, absolutely beautiful. So we're going to do that on all of the background layers. So let me grab all of these in. Just work round, popping your little dots of PVA on here. And again, I'm not like too careful about it. You can just kind of be a little bit random. Just go for it. But with this being a chunkier glitter, I think by spacing your dots out, that works a little bit better. So if I hold that one up again, you can see where I've got my little dots of glue on there. Okay. Then we'll cover that with that unicorn sparkle glitter again. I'm obsessed with this glitter. You'll notice it's like on all of my cards at the moment. I just love it. Look at the sparkle and shine that you get off it though. It is incredible. And when the sunlight, if you take it out, this sounds ridiculous, but if you take it outside, the sparkle when it's in the sunlight. Or do you know, if you have it stood on like a windowsill and you've made a card and then you just see that glitter shining back. Oh, it looks so, so pretty. So we're just going to add a few more little dots. Behind there, like so. But you really do find that this this tip makes such a big difference when you're doing a technique like this. Okay, so then when you tip off the glitter, you can see that there. Okay, I'm going to pop that one over there, and then that's going to go back into the jar like so. And then we're going to take in the other ones now. So these are the 6 where we've cut out just the petals from the top. Okay, and what we're going to do with those is we're going to do the same technique, but I'm going to show you a little bit differently. I'm just going to have a drink out of my cup of tea. And then we'll get going again. Okay then. So again, using your dry clear PVA glue, this little metal fine tip is absolutely going to come into its own right now. So what we're going to do is add in little dots of glue just all over the petal, like so. So you can see how I've just added those in there. Okay, so we're just going to work round, adding the little dots of glue into here. You can see what a difference this then makes. So I'm just going to work round, adding my little dots of glue onto here. And what you'll tend to find as well is, because you're kind of just dotting your glue on, your glue tends to dry pretty quickly for when you come in to assemble the flowers. This is a really pretty technique as well if you stamp and emboss them onto heat resistant acetate. You know, sometimes we put like an extra layer of petals on the top. This works really well for that too. So we're going to sprinkle that over, tap off the excess, and look, look at the difference. Isn't it amazing? The sparkle that you get off these glitters, it is just phenomenal. So this is the unicorn sparkle. Okay, so we're going to keep working round, adding these on. Do you know what? I think I might have a large jar of this. Then it says we're putting it back in the tub, doesn't it? Let me just grab. Yes, I have. Okay, so you can tell how much I love this glitter because it got upgraded to a takeaway carton because I love it that much. So what we're going to do is just continue on adding in the little dots onto the flowers. Like so. So again, there's not like a specific art to this, it's just being a little bit random. What I do tend to find looks a little bit better is if you keep a few more dots like closer together at the base and then like disperse them out, if that makes sense. So you can just add these onto here. Like so. And then cover this with our glitter. Okay, so you can see how these are starting to come together now. See, Sean is asking a question. Let me just have a quick read. Using the small drops of glue with the chunky unicorn glitter, does the glitter flake off once it's dry? No, it does not. Because this is a really nice, strong glue. So as long as you're using a PVA glue, dries clear, I would absolutely recommend this one. You'll be fine. The larger flakes of glitter won't flake off. And we're using a PVA because it's stronger, so it'll literally like grab and hold the glitter. So for all we're putting little dots on, there's still enough glue on there. You can see I'm not literally just touching the tip. I'm just kind of letting a little drop of glue fall out of the tip. Okay, so pop that onto there. And then we'll just cover this one. You can see that there. Okay, so we're just going to keep working round. So I've got 3 more left to do. So we're going to do these 3 and then we're going to put our flowers to one side to dry and we'll work on the rest of the card, because by the looks of it my little plan that hopefully the texture paste would have dried if I put it on the windowsill has worked. Okay, so we are going to be good to assemble for a finished card. Okay, so then we're going to sprinkle this one back over like so. You see that one? Okay, so again we're just working round, so I'll show you up close again with the little dots. So we're going to use this one here, little dots of glue all over, like so. Is everyone crafting along at home, or are you all going to catch up later? Please do let me know. Quite into doing these little dots. I do this in the background of lots of my cards as well. I just think it looks so pretty. Okay, so then when you lift this up, so you can, if I show you that before I put the glitter on, you can see how I've just randomly put the dots onto here. Okay, and of course this PVA glue that I'm using is going to dry clear as well, so you're not going to have the white dots. It's going to kind of show the pinky glitter. Yes, you can see that. Oh, look at that one. That one's turned out really blingy, hasn't it? Okay, keep going. Last flower now. So little dots of glue all over. And this is why I really like this stamp as well, because it's a nice like big open image. So for doing techniques like this, it works so well. Like imagine, okay, if you'd made some really pretty backgrounds using like your alcohol inks, or I'm trying to think of what the name of the product is, and that's gone. I think like brushers and pixie powders, of course. You could create backgrounds with those and then stamp these over the top, and it is going to look absolutely incredible because you've got all of that open space in the stamp. It's going to allow that like your beautiful backgrounds to shine through. Or the new watercolour washers paper pad that's on the website. I can't wait to use that paper pad with these stamps. That is going to look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so you can see that there, and you can see the bling and the sparkle that we've got onto here. Okay, so we're going to pop those flowers. I'm going to put all of those to one side now. I think I might pop them on the windowsill over here again. Okay, so I'm going to pop these over here like so. I'll just move them all out of the way. There we go. They're nearly all gone. I'm trying to spread them out so they don't get stuck together. Okay, there we go. So they'll all go over there so they can be drying in the sunlight. And I'll bring the finished card back in just to show you. So we're going to continue on, and we're going to do the foliage in the background now. So this foliage is being stamped and embossed onto heat resistant acetate. So again, these are techniques, and this is the thing. We're using some of the same techniques every week, but then applying it to a different project. So you're going to be able to use the techniques that I'm teaching you and showing you in these stamp alongs to hopefully use on a lot of different projects at home as well. So hopefully you're going to be learning some new techniques, and it's always amazing to see your finished projects in the Stamps by Chloe Facebook group as well. I absolutely love it when I hop on a night after the stamp alongs. It's always amazing to see all the inspiration. There's some beautiful cards in there. Okay, so we're going to be stamping and embossing onto acetate, so it's really important that the acetate you're using is heat resistant. If not, what you'll find is as soon as you put heat on the acetate, it's going to melt because it's a plastic at the end of the day. So we do have it in stock on the website. So this is the heat resistant acetate. Now I did notice there was a comment in the Facebook group earlier about it having a film on. This one that I'm using does not have a film on at all, and this is the one that we sell on the website. Okay, so it doesn't have a film on. You don't need to pick any film off or anything. It's just good to go as soon as you get it. So I'm going to take in my anti-static bag, and this is really important when you are stamping and embossing onto heat resistant acetate. We're going to give it a good dust over like so, and then rub that onto our acetate. Okay, we're going to pop that to one side, so I'll just carefully lift that up, and then we're going to take our stamp. So the stamp that we're using is from the Fabulous Foliage. Now I know that you have all gone crazy for this stamp, and unfortunately it's gone out of stock on the website, but we have more on order, and I think they're due in around mid-May is the date that we've been given. So any products that aren't in stock on the website, you'll notice there's a little notify me when back in stock box now. If you pop your email address into there, you'll get an email as soon as we load any more stock. Okay, so we're going to ink up our stamp. Of course, if you haven't got this one, you could maybe use the spring foliage from the new release when that comes. Okay, so we are going to stamp this one down and press. So you want firm, even pressure all over the stamp. So when you're stamping and embossing onto acetate, you want to keep one hand on the stamp and then use your other hand to press. I'm going to lift that off, and then we're going to take in our scrap paper again. Now I'm just making sure I've got no glitter on there, because we're going to be using that bright white embossing powder, which is here. This is the Wow Opaque Bright White again, and then we're going to sprinkle this over. It doesn't matter as well with your heat resistant which side you stamp on. With the one that we sell, there isn't a right or wrong side. Okay, so you can stamp on either. So we're going to re-ink our stamp. So this is the largest branch from the foliage set that I'm using. Stamp that one there. Stamp that one down. And then lift that off. I do tend to re-ink my stamp each time as well. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp another couple in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my stamp. Again, if you're not quite as confident as I am, you can stamp one and heat it up if you want to. Or if you would rather do what I'm doing and stamp a few, then heat them all together at the end, of course you can do that as well. So I'm going to stamp this one down here. Lift that one away. Sprinkle our embossing powder over. Sort of missed a bit there. I should really just put it back in the jar, shouldn't I? That would be the logical thing to do, but that's far too sensible. You see there where I've just got a little fingerprint. I'm going to just take my brush, just dust that away, and then I'm going to go in with my anti-static just around there. So you can do that, but just be a little bit careful, okay? You don't want to get too much anti-static on there. And we're going to re-ink our stamp. And we're going to stamp this one down as well. It's going to go onto there. Lift that away. Now I'm going to put my embossing powder back into the jar before I sprinkle it on this one, so it'll just make it a little bit easier. So then take your embossing powder, chuck it over. Anything where I've got like little inky fingerprints in the background, I'm not bothered because we're going to cut them out. So using your heat gun, hold your heat gun still, and you will just see that it changes almost instantly on the acetate. It turns so quickly. So we're just moving the heat gun over the image, and then as soon as we see that powder start to melt and change, we're just going to move the heat gun like so. Okay, and then you can see how that all works perfectly together. So we're going to cut these out now. I'm going to cut away that little strip up the side, because do you know what? We'll get the next lot of foliage onto there, I'm sure. I'm terrible, like little pieces like that, I just hoard everything. It gets a bit out of hand sometimes. I think all crafters are the same though. That's how I justify it to myself anyway. So we're going to quickly cut these out. So we're going to just trim around. Oh, look at that. I haven't heated that bit. Right, we're going to go back in with a heat gun where I've missed a little bit there. There we go. Give that a couple of seconds to cool. We'll just trim this one round. Abby's asking, have we got a dye for the foliage? No, we don't have a dye for the foliage, I'm afraid. It gets a little bit technical because basically the way in which stamps can be made and the way in which dyes are made, it's a slightly different process. So with stamps you can pretty much have nigh on as much detail as you possibly want, whereas with a dye you can have a level of detail but you can't have as much. So for this particular stamp set, a dye wouldn't really work with it. But we are kind of taking that on board and we've got things planned in for the future. Okay, so this is the first one cut out. So literally all you need to do is really roughly trim around the edges. So I just nip round with my scissors. And it gives you like a, oh, look at that, I've missed that bit as well with the heat gun. We'll put a jewel over that little bit where I've smudged, that's fine. I can hide that. I think it's because I'm working at a little bit of a weird angle because I'm trying to show you what I'm doing as I'm heating it, so it's a bit tricky to see sometimes. Okay, so we're going to continue working around, trimming these out. So you literally go in with your scissors and just trim these around. There, and then we'll do one more. Okay, so that's then your 4 pieces of foliage cut out. Okay, we're going to pop these to one side like so. And then we're going to grab back in those leftover little bits of acetate and we're going to do the smaller bits of foliage, so these bits here. So how many have we got? I've only got 4. I'm going to do 6 because I might put a few more on the finished card that I do today compared to what I have on here, but we'll just see what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to basically just fill the edges up with the smaller little foliage stamp from the same stamp set. So go in with your anti-static bag. Then you're going to ink up your stamp. Then we're going to stamp these down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one more, be 6. I'm going to stamp it there because I think I might be pushing it a little bit to get it in that stamp there. So we're going to grab our embossing powder again, so pop that one back into the jar and then we'll grab this in. I'm going to take that little bit off there just to make it a little bit easier to handle. Sprinkle that over. Okay, that's the first one. Next one, again we're just going to sprinkle it over. Now if you've got any static that's in the background, I honestly would not worry about it. As long as the little leaves are stamped okay, you get any little excess tiny bits of embossing powder, like seriously do not worry about it. Okay, so we're going to pop that back into the jar and then I'm going to just grab our heat gun and heat these ones up. So again, we're just going to hold the heat gun, and as soon as that powder melts and changes, now you can see, I'm going to point my mistakes out now, look at this. You can see where I've got a fingerprint here, okay? So when I cut that out, I'm going to show you, literally all I'll do is I'll go in then just cut it away and no one would ever know. Okay, so that can sometimes happen. Do you know when you get like a little bit of ink on your fingers? Because it does happen when you're crafting, and that can sometimes happen, and then it just transfers. Okay, so we're going to heat these up again. So holding the heat gun still, and as soon as that powder starts to melt and change, we're just going to move that heat gun over the image. Like so. So you can see how we've got all of these nicely embossed. So quickly trim these round. Just a tiny bit there. Go back in with the heat gun. Okay. I always tend to like roughly cut things out as well. I just find it a little bit easier when you're kind of twisting and moving things, and when you're cutting out it's much easier if you've given them a little, like a rough trim round first. Okay, that's that one. So super quickly just trim these round. Just going to use my scissors. Again, I'm not too careful about it, you know, when I cut these out on acetate. I literally just kind of run around the edge. I'm not careful about it at all. Okay, so we're going to just work round, trimming these out like so. Another one, and then one more. This is our last one. Okay, so that is looking cool. So what we'll do now is we'll start to build our background up for our card. So we've got an 8x8 straight edge card blank. Again, I'm going to pop the blog details up across the bottom of the page there. So if you hop onto the website, which is chloescreativecards.co.uk/blogs/news, you will find all of the instructions and all the measurements from the mats and layers for what we're doing in today's stamp along. So this is this stamp along 5? I think it is today. Stamp along number 5. If you just have a little look on the website, you'll be able to find all of the details on there. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, I've got a brush here. So before I start and make my card up, I'm just gonna give my workbench a little brush over because it's looking a little bit glittery and a bit embossing powdery. Okay then, so we're going to take our card blank in, and we've got a piece of pink pearl card, and from memory I think that pink pearl card might be cut to 7 3/4 inches square, but please don't quote me on that, please check the blog first. Okay, so we're going to take our card and we're going to take some Crystalina glitter. So again, this is from the Sparklicious glitter range, and this is like the see-through glitter, so whatever colour you pop underneath this you're going to be able to see. Okay, and we're going to grab a chisel tip glue pen I've got here. Okay, so this is the one that I use. We do sell these on the website, so basically they go on blue but it dries clear. So what we're going to do is drag the chisel towards you like so, and that's going to give you a nice straight edge. So we're going to just work around, dragging along each side. And then we're just dunking this into our Crystalina glitter. So this is going to give us like a little glittery four matten layer around the edge of the card. And see, a lot of people are asking about my scissors again. They are from Tonic. I've literally had them years, like to the point they are getting a little bit blunt. But Tonic don't make them anymore. So the Tonic spring cut scissors, if you can find them. But if you can find them, please send me a link because I would like a new pair myself. But yeah, they are fabulous. Okay, so we've got our base card here, and then I've got a piece of white card that I've also trimmed down. That's cut to there. And then we've also going to take our stenciled background that we've got here. So this, oh look at that, now it's dried. Doesn't that look really pretty? So that's using that frosty sparkle texture paste. I'm going to grab in my guillotine and I'm going to trim this down to size. I do believe this is cut to 7 inches square. Okay, I'm just grabbing the ruler out from underneath my trimmer there. Trim this down. Yeah, that looks nice. That's going to go in the middle of there, so we'll get that all nicely matte and layered up. Okay, so we're going to pop that to one side. We're going to use some foam pads. Again, anyone who missed last week's stamp along, it was a very rare occasion. I made a card with no foam pads at all, which was something different. But today we're going to pop these down onto here. So these are just going to add a little bit of dimension onto our project. Okay, I do like to make sure that I get plenty of foam pads onto here, like so, just to make sure that they are all, your card doesn't kind of sink and you don't get dips in them. Okay. I've just seen Val says that Tonic have got them in. They were on C&C yesterday. Right, leave that with me and I will see if we can get some for you all for the website. I will have a look after we've finished the live today. Okay, so we're going to start and matte and layer our card up. So again, if you haven't seen my stamp alongs before, I tend to make my card like a tent, so I like the fold at the top, but of course if you want to pop the fold to either side, you can do as well. So I'm just using my dry clear PVA glue again to stick my mats and layers down. This is going to get stuck down flat. It's my first layer. Okay, and that's nice and flat. And then I'm going to take my foam pads that are on the back of here. They're going to go down onto there, like so. So you then just see how you get the little pink glittery edge shining through. And then we're going to take our lovely pink square and that's going to go on the top. So this is our stenciled background. So again, glue all over the back of here, like so. So it looks like I'm putting a lot of glue on, but because we've got that little metal tip on the glue, it's not really putting that much on, it's just spreading it a little bit. I can see there's a few questions about my foam pads that I'm using. So I use the foam pads on a roll that we've got on the website. So the 25mm square, and they're the 3mm deep ones that I use. We do them in 2mm and 1mm. I believe, again, they just went out of stock yesterday, but we've got more on order. It's just taken us a little while to get stock in at the moment, obviously with the current situation. Okay, so you can see how that's all of our mats and layers starting to come together. Okay, so we're going to bring our flowers back in now. So I'm going to grab mine and hopefully they have dried all nicely in the sun. They are looking pretty promising, I have to say. Okay, so they're the flowers that we made earlier. So we're going to position our 3 base flowers across the card like so. So I'm going to stick those in place with a little bit of 3D glue gel. Okay, so I'm using the Kalal 3D glue gel. Of course you can use pin flare, anything like that that you've already got at home. This is just the one that I tend to use. Just try to squeeze it to the bottom of the thingy there. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put a few blobs of that onto the back. So that's one going into place there. I am quite extravagant with the glue gel as well, I have to say. It's going to go down there. Oops, this one's going to go down onto here. Like so. So you can see how they layer up absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take these other layers that we made and we're literally just going to pinch down the middle. Now, just a little disclaimer, before you do this, please make sure that the PVA glue is dry, because I don't want you to do this and then end up sticking your flowers together. So please make sure that the glue's dry before you start shaping them. But literally, all you're going to do is just pinch down the middle, so it's like a little valley fold, okay, down the middle of your flowers. And you can always flatten them out a little bit again as well. So you're just going to work round, pinching these down the middle. So what I tend to do is I hold the centre with one hand, and then I put my index finger down the centre and then squeeze with my middle finger and my thumb. And that just gives you a nice shape to the petals, I tend to find. So we're going to do that on all of these. I'm going to move my card out of the way, so you will get a little bit of glitter shedding just off the where it's stuck, but it's nothing kind of too major, just a little bit. Okay, so we just work round, shaping these like so. Becky's asking about the size of the stencils. So the size of the stencils that we sell on the website are all 8x8, so they're slightly larger than what you get in the box kit. The box kit ones are all 6x6. So this is an 8x8 stencil that we're using. But again, they're all on the website, so hop over and have a little look on there. Okay, so we're just working round, pinching the flowers, but you can see how you get all that bling. The reflection and the sparkle is gorgeous off this glitter. I do love it, I have to say. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bring our card blank back in, and we're going to just layer these up. So pop this one, I'm going to pop the first layer directly over the top like so. It would help if I showed you what I'm doing instead of just showing it to myself there. And then on the next layer I'm going to pull all of those petals towards me, so it's like we're building a little bud again, and then open them out, blob a glue gel on the back, just offset that slightly so it's got a little twist, and then you can see that's creating your beautiful flower. Okay, so we're going to do that on all of them now. So blob a glue, position that down, might as well do it like this. So again, I'm using that 3D glue gel because that's going to add a little bit of dimension. So then you're going to pull the petals towards you again. Okay, so you're like creating a little bud. Do you know what? These would actually look really pretty, wouldn't it? I do this quite often with flower stamps. Do you know if you do an aperture card and then you put some wire in and you put the little like stamens down the middle and hang them, so they look like, well, I'm not very good with flowers, but they look quite pretty. Okay, if you did them that way, that would be even prettier. Okay, so just completely undone my work there. A little bit of glue on the back, and then that's going to go onto here like so. More glue. So you can see how beautifully those flowers are starting to build up. Okay, and then we're going to take our foliage and start to tuck this in behind. So I'm actually going to cut off the very base, so like this little stem piece here. I'm going to trim that off all of them. And then we're going to go in. Right, we're going to use a little bit of 3D glue gel, so I've put it just on the base here. Okay, and then we're going to tuck this in behind the flowers, so that then hides your adhesive. So that's going to go under there. Just takes a little bit of figuring out sometimes, but this is why I always like to use 3D glue gel, because it then gives you that little bit of time to kind of manoeuvre it all around. So if you're not quite happy with where things are, it gives you that time to move them. It's going to go under here. It's going to go in there. So okay, so then you can see how that is all starting to come together. And see, there's a question coming from Charlene asking what can you use if you haven't got an anti-static bag. I'll be completely honest with you, I would recommend having an anti-static bag, because I know sometimes people say you can use talc and things like that. I personally do not tend to find that works very well. The anti-static is definitely a lot better, especially I find on heat resistant acetate. So they're normally around, I think they're about £3.99, the anti-static bags. It is definitely worth investing in one, because it will kind of improve the finished effect. Okay then, so we're going to start adding the other little pieces of foliage now. So these are the smaller leaves. So we're going to start and tuck these in. Okay, so I'll be here ages now, sorry, just arranging, you know, as you do. So just tuck these in behind, so you can see how you can really start to build up the foliage behind the flowers. These. This is where you can start to get a bit creative. They never turn out the same, I always think. Okay, so a little bit more in here. And just see how that's then starting to come in. Now I did stamp a couple of extra ones, and you know what? Because I've stamped them, I'm going to stick them in. Okay, so I'm going to push an extra little one in here and an extra little one down at the other side here, and I think that's just going to balance that out quite nicely. Oops. There we go. So you can see how that's starting to come together now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab in, got my little sticky picker upper pencil here, I'm going to grab in some little crystals. So these are the AB light rose ones I think I'm using. Could use any pink crystals at all. Okay, so I'm going to push. It's the wrong glue again, that's the blocked one. See, again, I leave the pin out the top, and this is what happens, you see. Okay, so I'm going to add little blobs of glue, just randomly. So again, this is this Amazing Dries Clear PVA. I really do use this for everything. Okay, so we're going to start and go in with our little crystals, and these really just take your project to the next level. They're going to add a lot of bling and a lot of sparkle. Pick up pencil's not working today, I think it needs sharpening. It's been overworked, I think. Okay then, so I'm going to pop these under here. And see, there's a few questions as well about how I send my cards. So if I'm actually sending them to someone, like for someone's birthday or something, I do tend to make a box. And then even if I'm sending them in the post, I bubble wrap it and just pop it in a jiffy bag. And it's all right so far. Obviously if you're giving them a box is perfect. And I think when you've put all the time and effort into making a beautiful project, it's definitely worth just popping them in a box to protect them, because what I tend to find is a lot of people kind of keep the cards that you send them as little keepsakes, which I think is always lovely, especially if you're sending like a wedding card or something like that. Okay, so we're just going to work around, dotting these in. Like so. So we're just arranging them around the flowers, just so it looks pretty. Put as many or as few on as you like. As you can tell, I'm going to town today with the bling. Okay, so you can see how that's starting to come together there nicely now. Okay, these are going to go back into the jar, the ones that I haven't used. Okay, and we're going to grab in our jewels now. So I told you that you need 3 bling stones, literally any colour, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take some glue dots. That's what I tend to do this. So this is one of Glynis did this on some of the projects actually. I was like, that is an awesome idea, I'm gonna use that. Okay, so I've got 3 bling stones, and then I'm gonna use this glitter. My strawberry sorbet glitter. Okay. Do you see that there? I've opened that. I've honestly used this before and I've opened it without breaking the seal. How cool is that? Okay then, so this is Strawberry Sorbet, which is a beautiful pink coloured glitter. So what we're going to do is cover these jewels with some dry clear PVA. So we're going to just use this and just work our way around. So you literally are going to cover the Bling stone with PVA glue. So do you know when you we all do it, we all kind of collect bits of Bling and they might just not quite be the right colour for the project, okay? This is a great little technique to use. Okay, so you're going to cover those and then we're going to take our Sparklicious glitter, so this is Strawberry Sorbet. We're going to sprinkle that over and see the effect that that's then given. I'm looking for my pokey tool, where's it gone? Have a look. Some tweezers maybe? Oh, there it is. Okay, so what we're going to do now, pick those up and tap off the excess. Like so you can see how they create like little glittery buttons. Okay, and I'm going to put that to one side, put that back into the jar. Now, if you're at home, okay, and you're not rushing like I am to try and show you the finished project, please let them dry, okay? Even if you have to leave them overnight, stick them on your project the next day, but let them dry, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of risk it here and I'm going to try and pick them off to go in the middle of the flowers. So I'm going to put a little blob of PVA in the middle of the flowers. I'm going to very carefully try to lift these off. Okay, that's the first one. I feel like it's Mission Impossible. There we go. Okay, so that's the first one in. But you can see how this then starts to pull the entire project together just by adding that slightly darker centre into the flower. And what you could do as well, depending on the size of the Bling stones, these are slightly smaller than the ones that I used on the actual finished sample. So what you could do if you wanted to is dot your glue around the edge and then you could add some little crystals round as well. But you can see how that's then started to come together. Okay, so you can see how pretty that is. And then we're going to take our sentiment stamp, so it's especially for you for this project day. I'm going to stamp and emboss that. We're going to use some silver embossing powder, which I've got over here. Do you know what, my desk started out like so tidy and it's such a mess now. So we're going to take our anti-static bag again. We're going to ink up our sentiment stamp. So this is especially for you. I think this is from either the Best Wishes or the Celebrate sentiment set. I can never remember which one. Okay, so we're going to stamp that down. We're going to lift that off. And then we're going to put that on there. Got a lovely glittery mess on the floor over here. And then we're going to take our metallic silver superfine embossing powder. We're going to heat up our sentiment. So we're going to use our heat gun. We're going to hold the heat gun still. And then as soon as that powder melts and changes, again, we're just moving it over the image. I'm going to grab in my little guillotine now. Always just like to give that a couple of seconds just to cool down. Okay, then I'm going to trim this round. Now, you'll notice that I never really give you measurements for sentiments, because if you're using a different sentiment stamp or whatever, it's going to be slightly different to the one that I'm using. Just trying to straighten this up a little bit. I feel like I haven't stamped that very straight. Sorry, I will be here all day now trimming the sentiment down, trying to get it straight. So we're just going to trim a little bit off each side. keep that little bit of white card because I'm going to use that in a moment. Then we're going to just edge round this using our chisel tip glue pen again. Dunk that into my Crystalina glitter that I've just got next to me here. Very close to the edge of the table, I must say. It's concerning me a little bit. Okay. That's that bit there done. So then we're going to grab in, so the bit where I've like trimmed my stencil away, I've got like a bit of pink left. So I'm going to stick this onto some pink card. I'm going to just mark that with my pokey tool for the sizing. Okay. Then we're going to trim that down. And we're going to stick that onto some white card. Okay, so we'll grab this in here. It's going to get stuck under there, like so. And then that's going to go. Just trim that down. And then we're going to use a couple of foam pads just onto the back of here. So we'll put one in the middle of there. And that's going to go onto there. I'm going to bring that card back in. So I'm going to go on at a jaunty angle in the top corner there. Now, top tip, okay? This is from experience. If you pop any sentiments on at a jaunty angle and you've made a beautiful box to put your card in, before you stick your sentiment on, if it's overhanging the edge, make sure that the card fits in the box. Because I've done that so many times, made a beautiful card, put my sentiment on at a little bit of an angle, and then it hasn't fit in the box. So yeah, if you're doing that, check that first before you stick your sentiment down. Okay, so we're going to stick this on at a little jaunty angle. Do you know what, I might have a little foliage like going over the top. That looks quite liking that look. I think we'll have that like that. Okay, and that will then be your finished project. Okay, so hopefully you have enjoyed today's stamp along with me. Of course, if you haven't done so already, hop over to the website. There's a full PDF to download on the blog. Okay, and I will be back again next week. So let me just turn the camera onto the other one. There we go. Okay, so I will be back again with you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock for the next stamp along. So again, all the details for that will be going up on the blog on Friday. If you haven't done so already, hop over to the website, which is chloescreativecards.co.uk, and if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can then sign up to our newsletter. And you will get an email when all of the new stamp along details are out. And what I always do as well in the email that we send out is I link all the products. So if you need to buy any of them ready for the stamp along, you can do. You can just hit shop now. So yes, so that'll be going out on Friday. And yes, so there's loads of tutorials up there on YouTube too. So if you've enjoyed what we've done today, there's loads more tutorials on there. So please do hop over and have a look. If you would like to follow us on any of our social media, we are on Facebook, which is where you're watching today, Chloe's Creative Cards. We are on Instagram, again, Chloe's Creative Cards, Pinterest, YouTube, and of course you can check out the blog and the website as well. It would help if I took that little banner out from across the bottom. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited for next week's stamp along, and I really hope that you'll be able to join me then. So thank you for joining me. Bye.